What's up everybody, Tony here with High Tech Check, and today we're going to take a look at a product that will eliminate Wi-Fi dead spots pretty much anywhere in your home. So if you maybe have some outside cameras that are Wi-Fi connected and your existing Wi-Fi signal doesn't really reach it or it's really weak, you can simply pick up one of these repeaters and extend that signal out to that camera or whatever else you might need instead of having to buy a whole new expensive Wi-Fi system. Now there's a couple different ways that you can use this. One is as a repeater, and basically what that does is it takes your existing signal and extends that to wherever you need it. Now there's also a few other ways that you can use this device, and one is to make it an access point by connecting an Ethernet cord to the bottom of the device that goes into your router. Now the other way that you can use this is to bring Wi-Fi to an area of your home where you don't have the option to plug into an Ethernet port. So basically it'll capture the Wi-Fi signal and allow you to utilize the Ethernet port on the bottom of the device to plug into a gaming unit or say a computer. Now I'm going to go ahead and go over all of the ways you can hook this device up, but first let's go and see what you get inside the box. So here we have our repeater. As you can see, it's got two antennas. There's your plug-in. The antennas swivel up just like that. Very solid. It does not feel cheap. It's got some pretty good weight to it. And then at the bottom there, it has your Ethernet port and the reset button. We have an Ethernet cable, and then here we have the installation guide, and that's pretty much all you need to get going. Now the other really nice thing about this is that this does support 2.4 and 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi signals and can do up to about 1200 megabytes a second, and that's combined with the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz signals. So the 2.4 is capable of doing 300 megabytes a second, and the 5 gigahertz signal is capable of doing 867. So combined, that gives you almost about 1200 megabytes. So again, I'm going to go ahead and go through the setup just to show you how easy this is, and then we'll test out those speeds. So the first way I want to show you how to set this up is going to be the easiest way, and that's by using the WPS button. So first off, we'll go ahead and plug in our unit. We'll see that the power LED is on. We'll go ahead and hold in the WPS button. So as you can see, it's ready to be connected by your router. So then we'll go ahead and go over to our wireless router. We'll press the WPS button on the router. Now as you can see, the WPS button on the repeater has gone solid. It should be configuring. And now as you can see, the signal LED is also solid to let you know that it's in an optimal area to use the repeater. So now once it's done configuring, as you can see, the WPS LED will turn off and the power and the signal LED should remain constant unless your repeater is in a bad area or it's not picking up signal very well, then the LED might change to red. Okay, so now that the repeater's all done being configured, if you go into your device, into your Wi-Fi settings, you can see I have Mastermind and Mastermind 5G. That's my 2.4 and 5 gigahertz channels on my Wi-Fi router. Now as you can see, another two have also been added, which are the 5G EXT, which is the 5G extended from the repeater, as well as the regular EXT, which is the 2.4. So it's just that simple with the WPS button. Now I'll go ahead and show you how to set it up manually where you have to put in the password and everything else. It's a little bit harder, but if that's the way you have to do it, that's the way it's going to work. So now if you need to do a reset on the repeater, all you need to do is get something small enough to fit into the little reset hole at the bottom here. We'll push it in for a few seconds and you'll see all the LEDs reset. Hold it in just a little longer until the power LED is solid, and then release. And then as you can see, the 5G EXT extensions will now disappear. So there they go, now they're gone. And now the Brostrend 5G XT and the Brostrend EXT are now there, letting you know that it has been fully reset and we can go ahead and start up with the manual setup process. Okay, so the second easiest way to set this up would be to select one of the extension networks. We'll go ahead and pick the 5G. Once you've clicked on it and it connects, it should open up a page where you can go to continue with the setup, which it just did. So here we're going to select our password. You can also select not now if you want to, but we're going to go ahead and push next. It'll scan for a list of Wi-Fi networks. Now here we need to select the network that we want to use to extend. So I'm going to go ahead and use my 5G network. We'll enter the password for your existing Wi-Fi router. Now once you've put in the password, you also have the option to change the name if you want to, but I'm going to go ahead and just leave it as it is. And we'll go ahead and hit extend. So as you can see, it extended successfully. It gives you the names of the two networks. And then we have at the bottom here, the little LED that is next to the signal. What it means, if it's blue, that's the best connection you can have. If it happens to be red, you're going to want to move the extender to a different area. And if there's no LED whatsoever, then it's not getting any connection. Now, as you can see right here, it does show the two extended networks, which are the 5G EXT and the regular EXT. And if we look at our signal LED over here, it is blue to let you know that it is in an optimal setting. So alternately, if you don't get that pop-up when you connect to the Brostrend Wi-Fi repeater, you can also go on any of your devices after you've connected to the repeater. You can simply open up a web browser and put in re.brostrend.com, or you can also put in the IP address 192.168.0.254, and that will open up the same setup page for you. So there's also another way that we can use this Wi-Fi repeater, and that's to use it as an access point. So the setup is initially going to be the exact same way as the other way. You're either going to hold in the reset button to reset it, or if you're initially starting the setup process, all you need to do is plug it in, wait for the power LED to be solid, and you're good to go. Now this step does require you to connect an Ethernet cable to the bottom of the Wi-Fi repeater, and then this other end does go to either a switch or to your Wi-Fi router. Now once that's done, we'll go ahead and go over to the computer or whatever device you want to use. You'll need to make sure that you either connect to the Brostrend 5G EXT or the Brostrend EXT. Either one will do. And if that screen doesn't come up where you do the setup, you can type in re.brostrend.com or put in the IP address 192.168.0.1.254. And then we'll get to the setup screen. Now the difference is, instead of putting in your logon password, we're going to go ahead and go to switch mode. We're going to switch to AP mode. We'll go down again to switch mode. Here we get the SSID that you would like. You can also change it, and then we'll put in our Wi-Fi password. We'll hit done. As you can see, that's what these SSIDs are going to be, the same things that it was when we were using it as a repeater. It should take about 30 seconds or so to complete. Okay, so as you can see, it has been created successfully. So now if we go back over to our device, as you can see, the power LED will turn on, but the signal LED will not. And that's because we're not grabbing a signal from the air and sending it somewhere else. We're taking a solid wired connection and broadcasting it that way. So we won't need that little signal LED. Another caveat to using the wired connection is that your up and download speeds are going to be maxed out at 100 megabytes a second, because that's all that this little port can do. So even though you will be using a more stable connection than just grabbing the signal out of the air, you will be capped out or maxed at 100 megabytes up or down. So here, if I show you on my iPhone, I am connected to the Brostrend 5G EXT. So then we'll go ahead and do a speed test. And as you can see, our download speeds are about 94 and our uploads are 93. Again, that's a little bit under the 100 megabytes a second, but we won't be able to go over 100 because that's all that this little port can do. So additionally, after you set up the repeater as an AP, you can then log in and you get this extra menu where you can see the status of the AP. You can go to the Wi-Fi settings. You'll see the two SSIDs, the 2.4 and the 5 gigahertz. You can change the name, change the password. You can go to the operating mode, change it back to the repeater if you want. And then you can go into the admin where you can see you can create a new password, reboot the device, reset the device, export the syslog, or update the firmware. So here I just want to do a little baseline speed test. Right now I'm connected to my Wi-Fi router and not the Brostrend repeater. And I just want to show you what my speeds are connecting directly to my Wi-Fi router for comparison. Okay, so again, these are my speeds directly connected to my Wi-Fi router. Now let's go ahead and see what speeds we get connected to the Brostrend. So as we can see, the download speeds are pretty comparable as the connection was directly to my Wi-Fi router, but the upload speeds are probably around half of what they were. So this is what you can pretty much expect from this Wi-Fi repeater. So here I just want to show you what this Wi-Fi repeater actually can do for you. So here I have my outdoor camera just kind of sitting on a setup I have mobily, just so I can show you what the Wi-Fi signal is currently connected to my Wi-Fi router that I have in my home. And as you can see at the top here, I only have about 1 bar of signal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now set up the whole camera again, but using the Brostrend Wi-Fi repeater just to show you how much better the signal strength is. So now here I am going through the full setup to add the camera to the Brostrend Wi-Fi repeater. This is the only way I could do it to show you that I'm actually using the repeater and not my home Wi-Fi. So this is the point where I have to put in the information for the Brostrend Wi-Fi repeater. As you can see, I did rename it to minion_ext and put in the password so it can connect. So as you can see, the camera has now been added, and I give you a little show right here. I do have full bars right now because I am in my home, but I am bringing it outside and putting it directly in the same spot as the first time I showed you when it was connected to my Wi-Fi router. Now, as you can see, my phone is still connected to the Brostrend Wi-Fi repeater, and you can also see that my camera is in about the same spot as it was when I first showed it to you. So now if we go back into the app, you can now see that I do have full bars of Wi-Fi being connected to the Brostrend Wi-Fi repeater. The difference, as you can see, is pretty much night and day. So if you do have devices that are outside that are struggling to get that Wi-Fi signal, using one of these Brostrend Wi-Fi repeaters will definitely help you fix that issue. And these aren't just for outside your home. You can use this also to eliminate dead spots in your home as well. So here I just wanted to show you that you can use the repeater as a wired connection as well. Here, as you can see, I have the repeater. My signal is optimal by the blue light there, and I do have my Ethernet cable plugged into it. And on the other end, I have it plugged into a dock here, and we're going to plug it into the computer just to show you that it works and what kind of speeds we're getting as well. So as you can see, the lights are lighting up on the Ethernet port. If we look down here, we can see now that it is connected. It's identifying. And we're connected to network 4. So let's go ahead and see what kind of speeds we're getting here. Okay, so as you can see, we got pretty good speeds. We got a 3 millisecond ping. We have 76 megabytes a second down and 94 up. Now, just one thing to keep in mind, if you are going to use the Ethernet port, you are going to be capped at 100 megabytes a second max, because that's all that this little port can handle. So it should be a more stable connection than using just the Wi-Fi between devices, but again, you're going to be capped out at that 100 megabytes a second. So I definitely think that these are a great option if you're just looking to extend your Wi-Fi signal, maybe to a little bit out of your home. You know, maybe you want to sit out by your pool and surf the web and your original Wi-Fi router just doesn't make it. Or maybe you might have some outdoor cameras in some up high places on your roof that the Wi-Fi just doesn't reach. This will definitely get rid of any of those dead spots. And it's super simple to set up. Like you saw, one press of the WPS button and it simply sets everything up for you. I will be putting a link in the description in case you guys want to pick these up yourself. And if you guys like me and want to support my channel, please use those links because it helps me keep purchasing products to do reviews for you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that little notification bell to let you guys know when I put out new videos. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a great day and I'll see you in the next one. Later.